Hello, everybody. Oh, Chloe too. Okay. Today, well, first of all, let's say we're at midterm now almost, and we have completed all of the verb tenses. We have done all of the modals in all of their forms, and we have done the passive verb tenses, and passive modals. And now we are at the midterm. For the second half of this course, we are going to be focusing on clauses, all kinds of clauses. That is the focus of the second half of this course. I would like to give you an overview, a general overview of all the clauses today, but we're going to really focus on noun clauses. It's not going to take that long. I think I'm going to complete this in about 15 minutes. Let's see. Okay. The first thing I want to talk about is a main clause. You know what a main clause is, right? A main clause means that contains a subject and a verb, and it's independent. It does not require anything else. Okay, so a sentence is a main clause. A complete sentence needs a main clause. Okay, main clauses are pretty easy. They start with subject and verb. They must include a subject and verb. Then you know, in addition to main clauses, we have several kinds of dependent clauses. Dependent clauses. We have spoken already about some adverb clauses. Okay, we have spoken in this class about adverb clauses of time and some conditions. Okay, we call them if clauses. We have not spoken about these other clauses yet. This will come later in the course. What you need to know, though, is that adverb clauses there are different kinds of adverb clauses. Adverb clauses of time, adverb clauses of condition, adverb clauses of place, adverb clauses of cause, adverb clauses of contrast. Okay. And as you know, adverb clauses must begin with some kind of word. Okay, that word in grammar is called the subordinating conjunction. That's a big word. Actually, I don't care if you remember that word. I will use it a lot, but what you need to understand what the subordinating conjunctions are. For each kind of clause, they have their own words. What does a subordinating conjunction do? It introduces the adverb clause. It introduces the clause. So how do we make an adverb clause? Subordinating conjunction plus the subject plus the verb. This looks a little familiar to the main clause, which has a subject and a verb. All clauses must contain a subject and a verb. Adverb clauses are dependent, which means they do not exist by themselves. They depend on the main clause. You know that. Bless you. You also know that we can switch the order of the adverb clause. It can come first, followed by a comma, or it can come second, with no comma. Okay? Is that right? Did I get that right? Mm-hmm. First, if it comes first, comma. If it comes second, no comma. Okay. The subordinating conjunctions for time, this we have done. We did this when we were doing verb tenses. We couldn't do them without them. The subordinating conjunction for time are here. Before, after, since, when, while, as soon as, once, as. I don't know if I'm missing any. I didn't check. We just did it. Are there any that I'm missing? Could be. All of these subordinating conjunctions get followed by a subject and a verb. That's how we make the adverb clause. Okay. We also have adverb clauses of condition, and we can have real and unreal. We have only spoken about real. Adverb clauses of condition can be introduced with words such as if, unless, in case, and there are other ones. Okay, I did not make the full list. We'll get to this full list at the end of the course later. Adverb clauses of place. We can introduce adverb clauses of place that answer the question where. That answer the question where. Here. Where, anywhere, everywhere. Here's an example. Where you go, I will follow. I will follow where you go. Okay, wherever you go, wherever. Wherever you go, I will follow you. I will follow you wherever you go. These are adverb clauses of place. Again, wherever, subject, verb, wherever you go. Anywhere you want to go, I will follow. Okay? Everywhere you turn, you see Americans in this country. You see Americans in this country, everywhere you turn. These are adverb clauses of place. We also have adverb clauses of cause, introduced with because or since. You know, because you were late, you missed the test. Since you were late, you missed the test. Again, adverb clause, subordinating conjunction, plus subject, plus the verb. And then, I don't know if you have already done this in Greg's class yet, but contrast. Words of contrast, and there are more, but while, whereas, you know, while this pen is red, this one is green, okay? Whereas this pen is green, this one is red. Whereas this one is, okay? Subordinating conjunction, subject, verb. This is how we make an adverb clause. Adverb clauses are not the subject of today's discussion. I'm just reviewing that with you because you already know that. In addition to adverb clauses, we have adjective clauses. We have not studied adjective clauses yet. We're going to study them in detail with all the exceptions and all of the, all the details. Adjective clauses, like their cousins, adverb clauses, are also introduced with a special grammar word. For adjective clauses, we call it the relative pronoun. I have no idea why we call it this. I have no idea why we do this. Doesn't matter, okay? But this is what we call them. Again, relative pronoun, plus the subject, plus the verb. Okay, it should start to look familiar to you. The relative pronouns are different than the subordinating conjunctions in most cases. The relative pronouns are which, who, whom, that, where for place, when for time, whose for possession. Okay, and again, a relative pronoun plus the subject plus the verb. That's how we make adjective clauses. Again, not the subject of today's discussion. I'm just trying to put the whole grammar world into perspective here for you. Subject of today's discussion is noun clauses. Here, this does not belong in here. To keep myself color coordinated. Okay, so noun clauses, like their cousins, begin with a word, but for some reason there is no grammar term. I don't know why that is. We have no term for this term. So I'm just going to call it, don't quote me, I'm going to call it the noun clause word. I will abbreviate that as the NCW, the noun clause word. What is that? The word which introduces the noun clause. Again, plus the subject plus the verb. Okay. There are 3 ways that we can introduce a noun clause. Number 1 is with a question word. Look at all my question words. Who or whom, what, when, where, why, how much, how many, how long, how far, how tall, how fast, how quick, how slow, how fat, how short, how whatever. How plus any adjective or how plus an adverb. How quickly can I speak? How quickly can I speak? How fast can you do your homework? Okay? How far is it to Austin? How much money does it cost? So I can have how plus an adjective, how much money, plus quantity, plus a noun. How much money? How much time? How many friends? How many dollars? What? What? What did you say? Wife? Wives? Wife. How many wives? How many wives do you have? Okay. Okay. Okay, so that's all of our question words. Any question we can ask? Any question. These are information questions. I should write that. Information questions. Any information question that we can ask, we can change that into a noun clause. And I want to practice with this a little bit to get it right. This is where I want to talk about today. If we have a yes-no question, we can turn it into whether or if. And I will go into detail with this either tomorrow or next week. The third way that we can introduce a noun clause is with that. For an example, we're going to get to reported speech. With reported speech, we use a that clause. He said that he would be here on time. That he would be here on time is a noun clause. Okay, so you see this a lot with reported speech. We're going to spend time on reported speech next week. Okay. So tell me this. What do you think might be tricky about this? Why is something tricky? I showed you adverb clauses, adjective clauses, noun clauses. What's tricky? Yeah, sometimes we use the same word. Sometimes we use the same word, so it could be tricky. Is it a noun clause or is it an adjective clause? Or even is it an adverb clause? I mean, I can use when for a noun clause, and I can use when for an adverb clause. I can use who, whom, when, and where. Oh, let me not forget which. I can use all of these for adjective clauses. That gets used for adjective clauses and noun clauses. So there could be some confusion because we use the same words to introduce different types of clauses, okay? Are there any questions so far? Okay, so let's just talk, before we talk about how to use them or what they look like, let's just talk about the form. How to make the form. How to make a noun clause. So I just want to focus on this, okay, on the question ones. So if I have a question, why are you here? Okay, that's a question. How do I form this into a noun clause? Remember, I use my noun clause word plus the subject plus the verb. Who can change this into the noun clause for me? Why you are here. Okay, so here we go. We have our noun clause word plus the subject plus the verb. Okay. See that? Okay, this is different. Why are you here is a question. It's a main clause. It's independent. Why are you here? Why you are here is not a correct question. Everybody, please do not start talking in noun clauses. Okay? Do not start doing that now that I'm teaching you this. These are dependent. It means they need to attach to something else. They don't exist by them. They can't exist by themselves. Okay.
Teacher, I heard Native American speaking like that. It's